Hey there, this is Liz, co-founder of Real Estate Investing Women, and today what we're going to talk about is something that's near and dear to my heart and I know a lot of women struggle with, which is time management and accountability. We do a lot of events and we actually are about to do an intensive with the students. And one of the things that um, I see time and time again is it's not like real estate tips, it's not real estate tools, it's not strategies that keep people from doing things once they like join programs and stuff. It's time, and it's managing their time, it's having the accountability and really being able to put the time and effort towards this. And a lot of times too, it's just prioritizing it. They may have the time, but they're filling it with other things that aren't as necessary. So I run three businesses, and for the longest time, it was two. I am a single mother. I have a 13-year-old son. And just when we were talking about this and kind of bringing up what we wanted to talk about today, I was like, time management seems to be the thing that everyone wants to ask me about. And in the pre-training for our students, the number one thing we talk about there right away is time management. And a lot of the students can attest that that was probably one of the most important modules for them, was creating the time and space to do this. So time management, let's talk about it. One of the things about it is it's essential. It helps you become more productive, it helps you become more efficient, and it really is effective in achieving a lot of your goals. So, what I want to do is give you a few tips today on what I do to run multiple businesses, to be able to get podcasts out and videos out, and to be able to do deals and how I do that. Now, the biggest thing is figuring out why you want to do this. I know we talk about this all the time and it's all this woo-hoo of the why, but you got to get clear on why this is so important to you, because you have to stick to it. You have to prioritize it. You have to clock in like you would for a job. You wouldn't tell your boss, I don't feel like showing up today, right? I would hope not. You would get fired eventually. So for that, it's getting really clear on why you're doing this and the goals that you're trying to do. So, one of the things that I like to talk about a lot is the SMART method, the SMART goals. So, getting very strategic, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So, I tell the students pick one big goal you want to reach that day, like the one goal that you have to do no matter what. And then from there, you can add two more to your list. But in the beginning, doing this in about 15 to 30 minutes. And everyone's like, oh, you're not starting at 4 hours. I'm going to tell you right now, no one sticks to that long term. Okay. 99% of the women I work with are not going to stick to 4 hours a day with everything going on. But if you can give me 30 minutes to an hour, I can have you doing deals. It's better than you doing nothing. So picking out SMART goals here that get you really, really going. So every Sunday without fail, I plan out my week, which goes into the second thing of time blocking. Time blocking is incredibly crucial. To this day, 10 years later, after starting to work from home from my divorce and everything, I still time block my entire days. I still time block 10 years later. It is crucial. With three businesses, I have to. And so what I do is I time block on Sundays. I will see, okay, what do I have this week going on? What are the most important things I need to do? What appointments do I have? What do I need to do for Hunter? What is going on that week? So I'll set that aside and put that into the calendar. Then once I have that going on, I will work my time blocks around that. So I will give mornings to REIW. So mornings up until about 2, I give to REIW. I don't start till about 9. And this includes any calls I have with students, which I do multiple a week, any lives I have to do, any blogs, any trainings, my podcasts, the YouTube, any videos have to be up until 2. Any meetings, I do a lot of meetings for REIW and all of that. Now at 2 o'clock, I have a hard stop. So very rarely do I go over 2 and I move into the real estate field. So for about an hour, I've built it to where a lot of it's delegated out. I will work on the real estate items. So anything, contract reviews, analyzing deals, any hard to negotiate with sellers, getting things cleared, stuff like that. That is for that time. And then from 3 to 5 or whenever Hunter gets home, I work on the third business, which is the manifestation business that I'm not going to relay here. But I have three businesses and that is where I dedicate. Now, REIW gets more of my time because it creates more of the content and stuff like that. And that's really, really important. So I schedule that out. Then what I do is during that time, I do my to-do list. or approvals, that's all scheduled into those times. So it's really, really important. You can use a I don't do calendars anymore, like planners, like physical planners, because I travel too much for that and I'm not carrying extra stuff. So I use a Google Calendar, I use Trello, and then I use my CRM. Those are all the three things that I can have on my phone, and I can literally get it from anywhere. So understanding and having a calendar and a planner will help you. If you're not someone that wants to carry your physical planner around, Google Calendar goes on all phones. It's what I use, and Trello is what I use, and it goes on all phones, and my CRM goes on all phones. So I do that, and I time everything. I time everything from going into driving to an appointment, to driving home from an appointment, to how long it would take with a little bit of a buffer. Because what will happen is if you do not plan that, then all of a sudden you feel like you're constantly running behind and you didn't plan the time to drive there. So then you're late and then it gets pushed into the rest of the day and things happen. Now, I understand that things come up and emergencies happen. So obviously this is going to be give and take, and you're going to take a few weeks to really understand how to get through that, but you do that. Then the other thing is you need to break your task into small, manageable tasks. So I'm not doing big tasks every single day that take up the whole time. I will break it down if I can, depending on the deadline, and do maybe one big task a day and then a bunch of little ones, and then one big task the next day and a bunch of little ones. It kind of keeps my sanity there to do that. And I don't multitask. I am the queen of multitasking. I love it. I have 3 screens on my computer, but I have really fine-tuned this to really focusing on the task at hand, giving it my full energy, and then adding in the other task. So it's just something that I have noticed a world of a difference in my productivity and my amount of overwhelm is I don't try to multitask. I try to focus on the task at hand and get it done. And what I have found is that it does really well. Now, the next tip I would give that a lot of you women especially are going to suffer and say this is crazy is you have to learn to say no. It is important that you set boundaries here. You have to say no. You have to say no to tasks and activities that don't align with your future goals, your priorities. You have to learn to say no to overcommitting yourself. If you really don't want to do something, don't do it. This will really ensure that you have enough time to meet the tasks that you need to meet and do what matters most. And so my team knows at 2 p.m. I'm done. I'm not going to answer emails. I'm not going to answer Slacks. If I do, it's because I went in there for something else and I saw it, but otherwise it's a no from me, right? So they know to get everything into me. The other thing is same with other people and families, being able to say no, overbearing parents, stuff like that, learning how to say no and being able to focus on what's a priority for you and your family. The other thing I would recommend is delegate out as much as you can. If you have a spouse and you're not the single mom, or you have older kids that can help you with around the house, do that. I include Hunter in a lot of stuff. He needs to help. He lives there. So he needs to help keep up with the house and maintain it. And so within reason, he is helping me. And I also hired people to come in and clean and do that kind of stuff on a weekly basis so that you have that support when you get to that point. Last, I would say really is the biggest thing is to make sure you're taking breaks and also minimizing distractions. So take breaks. If you do a hard project, go step outside for 10 minutes. I tell people go touch grass, go do something that is completely different. Give yourself that break. I used to not do this. I am someone that hyper focuses. So I would work for 4 or 5 hours without a break. And then I would wonder why the rest of the day I didn't have energy to do anything else or be there for Hunter. I would just kind of sit there kind of mindlessly staring because I would work straight. So that is what I would recommend. And then also, minimizing the distractions while you're doing it, flip your phone over, turn your phone on silent. All of this really helps. Now, this is just an adjustment period. To this day, I still have to tweak and fine tune each week. Things come up and emergencies happen, putting out fires happen and stuff like that. So give yourself some grace here. But I would say with time management, the biggest thing is to prioritize this business. If you want this a business, it can't be treated as a hobby. You have to treat this as a business. You have to show up as a business. And you have to remember that this is a continuous process that requires discipline and devotion, organization, and flexibility. But I can tell you, if you start implementing even one of these tips or 2 of these tips, you will see a greater success in your company, in your business. You will see deals start happening, and you will really see your life kind of change. I feel like I have systems in every order of my life, even down to my personal life, and it just keeps my life running smoothly while I handle multiple multi-million dollar businesses. So let me know if you have any questions, any feedback, but I hope that this was helpful for you, and just start implementing one of those tasks today. Bye, everyone.